God, I almost went down. Copeland Snare of mysterious provenance. Okay, mysterious provenance. God, it's got to be at least 10 years ago now that the Stewart Copeland Tama Signature Snare drum, the brass one, came out. You know, I think it had a die-cast rim top and a regular one bottom, which is the way Copeland had it. But here's the deal. I'm going to say this. This has to be said. I know I'm tooting my own horn, but I'm also tooting the horn of about at least 100 other folks on the drum chat forum right after this came out. Right after this came out on drum chat rooms like Vintage Drums or DFO, me and others were like, immediately, I remember going to, what was the name of the place on South Harlem? They moved down there from 95th Street. They've since closed because I think malfeasance. But they closed about 5 or 6 years ago. Not Drums, etc. Percussion Unlimited. Down on Harlem, they had great deals when you go in there. I remember the first one of the Copeland ones I saw. I'd heard of them. I remember looking at it and being like, wow, a brass drum, and reading an article, Mysterious Provenance, and I thought, well, either the Mysterious drum, he used to play a Power Tone Rogers or a Dynasonic or an old Ludwig, Super Ludwig. But I just knew Mysterious Provenance. All us sharp people did, because we had, years ago, I remember being turned on to these and being surprised. In the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, it was really only Pearl that was selling chrome over brass snare drums. I mean, Slingerland was, right? Rogers was the American, well, Ludwig at that point, they were Ludaloy. But I knew the only, Tama wasn't, they weren't brass. Yamahas weren't, but Pearls were. And the thing is these badges had come right off. And I just knew, you guys know who you are. We did, we knew it was this drum. And when that effing video from Sacred Grove came up like 5 years ago, and Copeland's like, and that's the Snare of Mysterious Provenance, I was in myself, if you guys were in the room, I'd be like, ooh, high five, I knew it. Anyway, so this is it. This is what we used to call, and it's a misnomer, a Jupiter. Now there is a model by Pearl, just like this, which has a different throw-off mechanism. Okay, that was actually called a Pearl Jupiter. It was the Jupiter model. Now diehard Tama or Pearl collectors hate when we sort of casual Pearl collectors or familiar people call this a Jupiter, but it's sort of like a name that's stuck. Like if you go down south and you say, I'd like a Coke, and they'll say, what do you want? And you'll say a Sprite. Like a Coke is a soda, a Jupiter. A lot of us, and again, I'm sorry it kills the Pearl collectors, will just refer to a chrome over brass, late 60s, well, early 70s, Pearl 10-lug snare drum like this as a Jupiter. It's just a misnomer. Now to spot these babies, I can tell you firsthand, what happened was, as time went on, they switched the badge out to that more modern Pearl snare. You got to be careful with some of those because they went to all steel. I think they offered some brass and some steel together for a while, and then after a while they were all steel. But in these days, they also offered steel ones. But do you see how there's 3 bands? I don't know if you can see that. There's 3 like indentations, okay? Kind of like Slingerland's. Like Slingerland had 3 indentations that were real fine. Well, this is Pearl's version. They're really wide. The 3 band ones in these days, the early 70s, were the brass ones. The steel ones will only have 2 bands. Okay, that's important to remember. I got burned that way. This is firsthand. Anything I ever tell anybody in my videos, I've learned firsthand. Okay, now I'm about to sell this guy. I have a buyer lined up. I don't know if he's going to want it because one of the lugs, because it's a brass shell, was slightly pushed in. Somebody probably dropped it from a foot, but these brass shells are soft. So I just popped it back out. You don't even notice it's there. But he's wary. Yeah, but just the way it goes. I mean, what would you expect? You think something might be wrong with it? I'll keep it then. And that's... What the hell is that noise? Oh, never mind. It's the humidifier in my furnace. So this particular one has the original Pearl heads, top and bottom. Now the thing is, what I've seen some people do with these babies is they strip the chrome off and they make it brass lacquer and it looks really cool, man. This is a heavy arse drum. But you know, the thing is, it's really not my cup of tea sonically. It's an okay drum. And what I did was, here's a Ludaloy Blackrolite, okay, from past 20 years Ludwig. Now let me put this guy on. I have it tuned up for, God, I get so excited about this, seriously, like talking about these drums that I get like worked up. So here we go. Oftentimes these George, well, not George Way. What do they call this throw off? Not a George Way. What? I don't know. I'm losing my mind. Sometimes these break off because these are pot metal. Kind of like a lot of the old 70s stuff that was die cast. Like with cars you used to buy Hot Wheels, they'd be like, die cast. Well, these are die cast, and they do sometimes, if you're not careful, snap off. You're very common. Most I see, it snaps off right here. This one's in good shape. So, I have snares tight, and I have a tuned up Copeland style. So, like, but I'll tell you something too. I think it's a little bit played up how much Copeland actually really did use one of these back in the day. I mean, there's no doubt he did. But in a lot of pictures and footage you do see him using a stock Imperial Star or Tama metal snare drum. You do. I've seen it. So remember, those, a good half of those, the higher quality ones, Tama back in the day, had die-cast hoops on. So I'm not saying Copeland or anybody's fudging. I know that's a drum Copeland had for a long time, and he indeed might have recorded a lot of stuff with it. But you can find pictures of them in the studio and stuff. In fact, I don't know if I've ever seen a picture, and it doesn't mean it's the case he never used this drum. But I've never, I don't think, seen a picture of him playing back in the day where this particular Jupiter was on his kit. I mean, I'm sure they probably exist, but I really think he really did. I mean, and this is more power to Tama, too. They shouldn't feel bad about that. I'm not knocking him. It was a Tama drum I think he played most of the time. So that's it. So again, if you want to try to find one of these chrome over brass shell, it's real heavy. People know about them now. You can find them on eBay. Remember the 3 lines for brass. But if you see, always though check it with the magnet. Here the magnet test works. Remember with Ludwig and stuff and Ludalloy and versus brass, forget about the magnet. Because aluminum, a magnet won't stick to aluminum, just like it won't stick to brass. But if you're looking to tell a pearl drum like this, steel or brass, the magnet test works because it'll either be steel, ferrous, magnet, kink, or brass. It won't stick. There's no Ludalloy or aluminum versions of these, so the magnet test works. Look at that badge. This would be a great t-shirt, man. See that black with gold writing? I might steal that logo and just put Bonzolium. Anyway, so find yourself one of these babies. It's very Copelandy. And don't forget, a lot of Copeland sound, too, back in the day, was a clap trap, yeah, that they triggered on the drum. I'm going to leave this on here, I think, for a while. So, anyway, more videos on the way very soon, okay? Both George and down here. More drum covers coming up. I still have to do a proper Black Sabbath that I did the other day where I kind of did. I think I'm going to play along with the original track, studio track, instead of the drumless, because the drumless is a little faster and higher pitched. I think I'd rather play along with Bill Ward because the drums are mixed a little lower. I think I'll do that, but I do owe, well, at least me, for my obsessive compulsiveness, a proper, God, I want to say Sims? What the hell's the name of the song? Nativity and Nib. A nib of a beard. One of those, and I also owe a proper bang on the drums all day, so where I just don't mess up. So more videos on the way. Please subscribe down here if you can, down over there. And again, thanks for watching my videos, sincerely. Appreciate it.